Hi, you guys. This is Jamie with Whatever's Clever Boutique, and welcome back for day 10 of my 12 days of winter inspiration tutorials. Today, we're going to use some gorgeous semi-transparent vinyl and a decal from Gracefully Created, as well as an SVG from Made by Manny and Mel Digital Collective. And I had fun making this tutorial. It is pretty simple, but it turned out so pretty. I will have everything that I used listed and linked in the description box below. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're going to start with a 30-ounce tumbler, and we are going to use Glisten from KSRESIN, and I believe that was just released in her mystery box, but we're going to go ahead with our epoxy method for glittering today. So we're just going to apply a thin coat of epoxy all over our tumbler and then sprinkle on that glitter. And once we're done glittering, we're going to go in with 2 coats of our favorite epoxy. Mine is KSRESIN Liquidy Split Ultra UV Epoxy. And then because this is a semi-transparent vinyl we're going to use, we do not want to do any sanding here. You will see those scuff marks underneath that clear semi-transparent backing, or not backing, vinyl if you will. So we're going to go ahead and tape off about halfway down the tumbler. In hindsight, you definitely don't have to tape. I don't know what I was thinking on this day. You can just hold up your vinyl and figure out about what halfway would be on your tumbler. But I'm going to take that decal and make sure it fits in on that other side. And then I am going to line up my vinyl, slice that vinyl right on the top on the other side where we're going to go ahead and cut. And then we're going to apply that to our tumbler. And once we get that vinyl all applied, I'm just going to pull really tightly against that bottom part of the vinyl to make it curve around the bottom of the tumbler. We're going to cut some of this away, but I wanted to keep the split effect throughout the bottom as well. So I just keep pushing that down, and then I take my X-Acto knife and just roughly cut around that outside. I did have a few folds, so I went in with my X-Acto knife and flattened out the little bunched areas. And then I just trimmed it as needed. And once that vinyl is all applied, we're going to go in with our super cute Christmas door element. I fell in love with this when I saw it. And we really want to be sure here that we back up. I realized I did not pop the bubbles in this vinyl. And A, it's crucial because you do not want air pockets under epoxy, and B, you will definitely see them. So be sure to pop those air bubbles in that semi-transparent vinyl. Now we're going to take that decal and we're really going to try and be sure here that it lines up perfectly on either side with the correct amount of distance between the two. Once we have that decal applied, I'm gonna go in with my line vinyl that I have pre-cut. I will have this file in my website, listed on my website if you want to use the same file. There are 4 different sizes, and then don't forget to take that X-Acto knife and cut right down the either side. That way you can use the pieces of vinyl that space your lines as well. So utilize the entire sheet. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply that to either side. And then I'm gonna go in with my decal from Made by Manny and Mel, SVG, I should say rather. But I went ahead and did a triple layer offset. I did the red for the back, white for the middle, and this gorgeous holographic olive green for the top layer. So again, I'm going to apply this via hinge method as well, taking the time that's needed to be sure that it's evenly spaced between either side of our vinyl. Once all of those elements are applied, we're going to go in with just 1 coat of epoxy to seal in all of our goodness. And I'm so frustrated. I thought I pushed record and then went to stop it and realized I never pushed record. But I took a little bit of that epoxy that was left over and mixed some peppermint from KSRESIN into it and sporadically applied that to the tumbler. I avoided the decal just because I want that to stay pretty and holographic, but I thought it gave it some gorgeous dimension. So once that is all cured, we're gonna go ahead and clean our rim and do our sanding. And then I did have a few bumpy spots on the vinyl on the bottom. So I'm gonna take a sanding sheet and I'm gonna go ahead and lay my tumbler flat on it and just pull it straight down. And I'm gonna keep doing that until the bottom is nice and flat to my liking. Once I get that all sanded, I'm gonna take some UV resin, and all I'm trying to achieve here is flattening out the bottom. I don't want there to be that divot down there, so I just put some UV resin and then I smooth it out with my finger to make sure it is all level before I cure it. And what I'm doing here, or what I'm trying to achieve, is I'm gonna be putting a circle piece of vinyl on the bottom. So I want to be sure that the bottom's completely flat. Now, instead of using my silhouette, I'm gonna use this fancy little circle cutter tool. And I will say I am not very good with it yet, but you can set it to whatever size circle you want. And then you just put that right on a backing sheet and hold that orange button down and spin your little lever and you get a perfect circle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that circle and lay it right down on the bottom of our tumbler. Then we're gonna be sure to pop any of those little air bubbles before we go in with our final 2 coats of epoxy. And once our epoxy is all cured, our tumbler is finished. I am just obsessed with these elements from Gracefully Created. They are so gorgeous, and this vinyl paired with it perfectly, as well as that Made by Manny and Mal Digital Collective SVG. This tumbler is just perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I will see you guys tomorrow.